Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sway. And before I get started, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the heck out of the video if it's something that you want to see. Today I'm going to be talking about something that was very interesting. Right now, today it is August the 26th, 2020. 8:52 p.m. as I am recording this. So yesterday on the 25th, on Tuesday the 25th, third phase of the moon posted an interview that their newest interviewer did with Emery Smith last year, and it was pretty interesting to say the least. In my opinion, it was interesting to say the least. And the 11-minute mark, when she's asking a specific question, and at the 12-minute and the 13-minute mark, and the way that he responded. Okay? Now, this video is not going to be about solely based on that interview. I just thought, this was how everything led up to what I'm going to be talking about. Okay? So, give me 1 second. So right now you see me, I'm here. I'm gonna shrink myself a little bit on camera. And let's watch this, and let's remember this is in the third phase of the moon channel, and in the 11th-minute mark.
Disinformation agents.
Absolutely.
But I must say that a majority of the things that I read about seem like they might be absolutely true, and they may fit into the paradigm of the emerging paradigm of our reality. It's difficult to imagine that these so-called live-action role players would take the time to learn so much about a false story to make it seem completely real and believable and consistent with what actual insiders are saying, and for no pay. So my question to you is it possible that these insiders are saying that other insiders are not real, are themselves putting out disinformation in order to get us to doubt everything, and particularly any new insiders coming forward?
Okay, so first and foremost, now I'm gonna place the link to this interview with Emery Smith on the description box. But in the questioning that she's asked, she's talking about certain people, because in the ufology community it's really been kind of hectic as of late. It's been hectic as of late, not really as of late, for a while, but now the truth is starting. What it is that for a long time you've been having these LARPers, live action role players, saying that they're something that they're not, saying that they've done this without any proof, saying so many different things and if anybody's been paying attention to the Corey Good, David Wilcox stuff, all this, just this whole debacle. So she's asking specifically about that. So let's listen to his answer.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's a lot of LARPers, they call them, coming forward. Besides David Adair and myself, we're the only documented people with documentation from the military and from our work, and also, we have many letters of recommendations from the colonels and senators that back us up.
Even after you've come forward with everything.
That we came forward with, and everyone else kind of just pops out of nowhere and has a story. Yeah. So I don't fall into that, and I don't believe any of them, sorry, and some of those were colleagues at one time, because there's a lot going on, as you know, right now with this whole situation. I'm not going to get into it.
All right, so in his answer right here at the within the 12-minute mark, as he's talking about the LARPers and what have you, and then right there at the 12-minute mark, where he admits, hey, some of these were my colleagues, where he's basically saying, look, all they have is a story. They don't have proof. They don't have any evidence to support their story. They're just telling a story. and I can't believe it, blah, and so right, anybody that's been following the Emery Smith, Emery Smith and Corey Good, they've been they were colleagues. They worked together on a lot of these conventions, whether it was Conscious Life Expo or Contact in the Desert or what have you. I mean, the videos are out there on YouTube, to find. It's great. It's really interesting. Number one, anybody that's been following the situation for a long time knows that with the Doxgate situation, that Emery Smith there's audio on Emery where Emery Smith said that Corey Good doxed him. So now it's kind of like Emery Smith doesn't mind throwing people under the bus. At this point, he may not say their name. Like in an interview like this, he may not say their name directly, but you know who he's talking about. So let's listen a little bit longer.
In the UFO community,
yeah.
And they got disinformed, and some of the researchers and investigators that were, actually interviewing these people got fooled. So, it's hard to get the real deal. You have to do your own investigation. I always tell everyone, don't believe anything you see, don't believe anything you hear, don't believe anything you read. Don't believe me. Get out there and find out for yourself, because this will never lie. This you can get manipulated by when you use your brain, and you can get caught up into someone's story, and that's what's happened. It's tragic because that.
I mean, it almost like discredits the whole UFO community when these kind of stories come out. That's what's so horrible.
It's terrible. It really, But the good thing is, the truth always comes out eventually, and these people get busted, and they get exposed, and they won't ever recover, and it just makes credible people that are out there actually trying to do something that do it, like myself. Not putting ego on there, but...
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting that he said all of that. And basically putting himself on a pedestal. Now, shortly after that on Twitter... alright, I posted, as it says right here on Twitter, it said, what I did is that I tagged my buddies CW Chanter and Stina Bina, as I said, did Emery Smith just say that Corey Good is full of shit on third phase of the moon? Like, obviously he didn't say that word for word, but I'm just really just saying, it's like did he throw him under the bus, right? So it's crazy because later on, Stina Bobina makes a post, and she makes a tweet about this guy that we're gonna talk about. Okay, it says she says this guy commented on one of my videos. I haven't listened yet, but yeah. Emery Smith exposed. Okay, now, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to post a link in the description box to his channel. That is, I'm trying to see. It's called, the name of the channel is called Points on a Curve, and I've been kind of binge watching it. Okay. Now, with all the craziness that's going on and what have you, and it's crazy how all this kind of comes together. But the cool thing about this guy is that the fact that on his channel, and this is the Emery Smith exposed one, he posts not on the first video. Oh yeah, even on the first video, I'm looking at it now, as you can see right here. It is a public link to a Dropbox with bunch of evidence from oh my gosh, transcripts from different let me check this phone real quick. Transcripts from different court case things that Emery's been a part of. It is I mean, I haven't downloaded everything yet, and I'm not gonna even try to pretend to understand it because I am not an attorney. I'm not a, I'm not a law guy. But if let's see if we check this out. I'm gonna go on the link. I checked it out earlier, but yeah, a bunch of zip files. This is a bunch of and text messages and different order grant. I mean, this guy basically looks like he documented everything, and even video and audio. So it is definitely worth a look at, in my opinion. But here's here's one of the disturbing things that you never want to hear. But on the Emery Smith exposed at around the 14-minute mark, and this is the Emery Smith exposed one again. Around the 14-minute mark, maybe a little bit later. Just hear what he has to say.
Supporting, including Dolan, who began his career as a librarian, believe it or not, but who Richard is a credible researcher and has done some interesting work over the years. But I found the Atacama being to be interesting, as did my children, who were very young at that age. They were 14, and my daughter and her friends, they were 14 and 16. The three of them that were there, two of them were 14, one of them was 16. And so it created a pretty big buzz, and with that, we kind of checked out and drove home the 3 hours, and of course, that ride home was fascinating. Mm-hmm. And that was where it all frankly began. Emery somehow was able to get my daughter's email and stayed in contact for her over the next 3 years. And asked her not to divulge to myself and my wife that he was in contact with her. And this went on and on and on and on and on. And apparently he had said some things that were disparaging about my wife and I, and really planted the seed in my daughter's mind.
Okay.
That we were not good parents, and that she would probably be better off with him. And he continued to do this for years.
Wow.
And I found this all out much later. But, yeah, pretty interesting. When I discovered this, I was, of course, upset. But he fundamentally predated on my daughter for years and years and years, until he finally ended up dating her. And they spent 4 years together. And the shit show that unraveled from all of that and what I saw is almost beyond belief.
Wow. Okay.
But it's all true.
So here's the crazy thing about it, okay? Here's the crazy thing about this whole thing is that, again, as I stated earlier, this guy has evidence, and one of the things that he says is that he, anything that he brings up, like court case type things, whatever, he's gonna have facts. He's gonna have, documentation of some sort or whatever. The crazy thing is that he pretty much said that Emery Smith groomed his daughter. Okay. Actually, on the Emery Smith exposed number 5, he talks about the video that Emery Smith just did with, or the video that with third phase of the moon that they were with the Emery Smith interview. But on part 4, going up, I make the comment, and I said, and I basically said, not only is he a fraud, but the fact that he had secret contact with her, meaning his daughter, the guy's daughter, since she was 14, makes him a groomer. I will even dare to say pedo. Okay? And if I'm going to just to be honest with the whole thing, I have to be honest with myself, I have to be honest with the whole situation. If you that's what happened. Emery Smith had, he had secret contact with this gentleman's 14-year-old daughter until she was old enough to date or what have you. So what did he do? He groomed her. That's what groomers do, with when it comes to kids and what have you. It's disgusting. It is disgusting that. I mean, I already had certain doubts about Emery Smith. I already had, for the longest time. Now, is it possible that he's actually seen some things and done some things? Yes, of course it's possible. Of course it's possible. But to this level of where he groomed a 14-year-old girl. Now this is not me talking or what. I'm just relaying the message that this gentleman stated, that basically said that he groomed a 14-year-old girl to basically, and he says it on a few of his videos. He's a cultist. He's like an expert cultist. Like, oh my gosh. So, what do you have to think of it? Now, in the video where he makes the in the interview that Emery Smith was in, that was on third phase of the moon, he will say, well, it's people like me and David are there, that where we have documentation and this and that and the other. Okay, on the fifth video, I believe it's the fifth video. Like I said, the Emery Smith Exposed 5, where he makes the comment on that video, on that interview. I can, he says, look, David Adair is credible. He's actually done some things, and he does have documented proof. Emery Smith doesn't have anything. Now when it comes to David Adair, like when anything in the ufology community, anything that comes in this community, for me, it doesn't matter who's talking. It could be Travis Walton, it could be freaking David Adair, it could, an actual, alien come down, out of their craft, say, hey, look, I'm from Zeta Reticuli system, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have my doubts. I'm going to do a bunch of research, actual research, not reading what other people did, but actual research on things. Yeah, and I've said it before, even in my own life, with the shit that I've experienced, the shit that I've seen, I have doubts on that. The first thing I try to eliminate everything. Was it a dream? Was it a hallucination? Was it this? So if I do that within myself to eliminate any factors of what it could be before I say, okay, this is what actually happened, then I'm going to do it for everybody else. I'm not going to believe every story. The fact that this gentleman, he basically, anything that he's talking about with when it comes down to Emery Smith so far, this is because that's all I'm watching, he's providing a shitload of evidence, and he puts the link. He even says it on many of his videos. Look, if I'm lying, I can be I could be sued for defamation of character or whatever. I believe that. So if he's there, he's providing proof, evidence, what have you. And it's funny because what he really reminds me of is okay, with the story that Corey Good gave, that he was in the My Labs, this, that, and the other. When the woman who was from the same school he was called him out on his bullshit, saying, "No, you were not taken. You were not taken. Stop lying. Stop saying that this, that, and the other happened when it didn't." And let me see. When Corey Good said, "Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know you," and there's a picture of the yearbook page where she's on there and he's on there. That's proof. That's evidence. He's providing a lot of proof, a lot of evidence on this gentleman. He's providing a lot of proof, a lot of evidence on. Now, I'm more than willing to bet that you're gonna have those that it'll be the same thing as in what happened with Corey Good. That regardless of whatever evidence you have that is contrary to the story, to the narrative that they are trying to get out there, they're not gonna believe the evidence, proving that this person is full of shit or whatever. So I know that this gentleman is gonna get that. He's gonna get a bunch of people that are gonna believe the LARP. They're gonna believe the bullshit that Emery Smith has to give, that he is giving. Just like a lot of people are still believing the bullshit that Corey Good is out there giving. So, and it's funny because just like he said in that interview, okay, I'm gonna say it like this: if Emery Smith says that he has all this documentation and this and that and the other, like I said, I'm going to put a link to this gentleman's YouTube page in the description box below. Check out the videos. Check out everything that he has to say. And make up your own mind. Make up your own mind. It is just really crazy that as we go forward, you got more and more people being exposed, little by little. And I think this is what we need in the ufology community. Let's use Travis Walton as an example. One of the things that makes his story credible is evidence that he has. When people say, "Oh, this thing didn't happen," after he was dropped off, or as the story goes, after he was dropped off and he walked however long, I think like a couple miles or whatever, to a payphone to make a call. People say, "Oh, that didn't happen." Well, there's phone records of when it happened. There's records on a lot of things. There's the lie detector test, the polygraph test. There's a bunch of different things to show that, hey, look, something happened. At least, it shows and it proves that something did happen. And that the people involved, from Travis Walton to his co-workers and what have you, they were witness to that. So I got to go with the same route with everybody else, right? Okay, with Emery Smith, he says that there's paperwork, there's this, that, the other, there's proof of this, that, and the other, yet he has yet to provide anything. And on his military form, all it says is, and this gentleman covers it completely, but it doesn't say that he was a part of a moonlighting thing or whatever. And a lot of people say, "Well, it was classified information." Yeah, even if it was classified information, it should have given something, something more than just, "Oh, he was a grunt." um, there's so much into it. You know, like I said, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the paranormal, UFOs, just you know, don't believe every story that you hear. And it's funny that Emery Smith said the same thing. You know, I said, don't believe this person. Don't believe. Heck, don't even believe me. This is Emery Smith's own words in that interview he did with that was on Third Phase of the Moon. He says, don't even believe me. You know, really search it out for yourself. Okay, fine. Well, this person, this gentleman right here, he has a lot of proof. What do you get to say about that, Mr. Smith? You said it yourself. You know, don't even believe you. Just search out. Okay, well, this gentleman has all this information about your drug use, your alcohol use, a bunch of things. What do you have to say about that? How are you going to explain to people that you groomed, and this is just by this gentleman's testimony, that you groomed a 14-year, you know, a girl starting at the age of 14 until she was old enough to date, so it was legal for you to do whatever you want. Because that's what you did. If this man's story has any credibility, which by all the evidence on a lot of things, on top of probably his daughter going to testify as well, it has a lot. How are you going to explain that? How are you going to explain that in all seriousness? All right, y'all. So I'm gonna end it right here. Don't forget to to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to also check out CW Chanter's channel if you haven't. It will be in the description box below, as well as Stina Bina. Her channel will be in the description box below. Check them out. Check out so many. You really gotta check out a lot of people. Get people that are doing the research and putting everything together. They are way better than I am at this. At the research, at putting something together with all the research. They put in a lot of time and effort. That's what right now at my show, I just voice my opinion. So if you really want to get a lot of, check out those two channels, as well. Check out the channel of this gentleman, and check out his channel. It's called Points on the Curve. Again, just do your research. Do your due diligence, all right? So until next time, just remember, I love each and every one of you. Peace.